I'm gonna be saving it. With the world so set on tearing itself apart, it doesn't seem like such a bad thing to me to want to put a little bit of it back together.
Sorry, sir. Nobody's allowed to go.
No, you don't understand. My son is the defendant.
I understand, sir, but nobody's allowed
I have information.
While the sentiments expressed are laudable, the facts of the charge seem incontestable, so... What the hell is going on out there? Let him go. That's a Great War uniform.
It is, sir. Sir, I need to show you this.
With respect, sir, you are no longer a member of the military. You are unable to attend this hearing. I'm sorry.
Is that truly the way it works, sir? You fight for your country, you lose so much that was dear to you, and then you're done with it? The uniform's forgotten, you have no voice.
You were at least.
I was, sir, Annabella Wood.
Twice decorated, I see.
Sir.
I take it you are the private's father?
I am, sir. Thomas Dawson.
Then, as a former military man, you know there are laws here.
Sir, I know the law, and I know my son is protected by those laws. They're framed in our Constitution. And I believe in them as he does. They're why I went and fought to protect them. At least that is what I thought I was doing, because if it wasn't for that, then I have no idea what the hell I was doing there, sir.
Thank you, Corporal Duss. Let me have the letter. You must go. The defendant's rights as a conscientious objector are protected by an act of Congress, and he cannot be compelled to waive those rights. That includes, in this case, his disobeying orders to bear arms. Signed, Brigadier General Musgrove, War Services Commander, Washington, D.C. Colonel?
I withdraw the charges, sir.
Now, this case is dismissed. Private Duss, you are free to run into the hellfire of battle without a single weapon to protect yourself.
Oh, let's proceed.
You may resume your duties and begin training as a combat medic.
That's the finish.
I mean, this hurt, that's no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about life. Why would you leave all this?
His accent is really... He's a British. Yeah, he's a British. Yeah.
I think I find that this is something, this movie, it speaks a lot about what I want to deliver today. I think when he comes up and says that I took it personally when the Japan bombed the Pearl Harbor, I think first and foremost when we say that we want to do our responsibilities, I think do we take it personally for us, that do we love the, in a sense, the people that we are serving? The more we love, the more we have this feeling of responsibilities towards the person. It's like what Toby shared. Because he loved God, that he wanted to be that co-redeemer. That he wants to love those that God loves as well. He took it personally, that this love of God that he wants to share to others as well. Second thing is that when we do our responsibilities, there is suffering. That when we want to do that specific purpose, that we want to give our values and our special experience in that situations, there is a certain suffering in that. And I put these pictures that it is like working out, right? When we work out, at first we feel the pain, and for me, I'm thinking whether should I continue this pain or not. when I do my workout. But the time when I accept that pain as a necessary, the time when I accept my responsibilities as necessary, then it will get easier as it goes. Just like working out, because you build the muscle. Your values, the time when you say, even in the midst of pain, that I want to do this, despite the pain, our values will increase. The values of, the inner values that we have is strengthened. And it will get easier as it goes. And that's why I think when we start our ministry, when we first serve, it entails a little bit of suffering, because we need to do something that we do not know. For me personally, when I started to be, when I was elected as Sakra Youth, the first thing that comes to my mind is that my life is not my own anymore. And I spent the next 1 week thinking, why am I giving my name there? I spent the next 1 week thinking the heavy responsibilities. But I think as I started to try and I started to do the duty, then I started to find that it gets easier as it goes. It takes, it feels suffering at the first time. And of course, if we know the why, we can bear with the pain. We can bear with whatever things that we need to do to accomplish our responsibilities. And eventually, I think this one I mentioned before, but I think I just want to say that inside us, I think this is a story about the two wolves. They say it's one of the Indian, as in American Indian story. They say like there are two wolves inside of us. One wolf with all of the selfish, all of the bad attitudes and bad, in a sense, bad values, and another one is where all the positive attitudes that we want to be selfless and all. And this is always in a constant tension. Whenever we want to do something good, it will be in a constant tension. But then, when it fights, who will win? The one that will win is who you feed. Which wolves that you feed. So if you, in spite of the pain, keeps on doing the values that you want to do, it gets easier, it gets stronger as it goes. When the next time you fight, just like the movie as well, Hacksaw Ridge, it is part of us. For the movie, it's part of a small suffering that he actually experienced, because he's only getting jailed. But that, when he is still firm with his value, as he goes to the battlefield, his value are stronger. Then he becomes more courageous to go there, even without wielding weapon, and save people's life. Even when his comrades in the movie, if you see, even when his comrades eventually already fall back, he is still the one and only one that stays there to save his fallen comrade. His injured comrades, not fallen comrades, his injured comrades, and save a lot of people. And that previous experience is necessary for him to strengthen his values so that he can do his objectives. In a way, it is like what is being shared in the previous teaching. When you say yes to God, the small little yes will lead, eventually it will lead you to your purpose. Because that small little yes strengthens your inner values and helps you to achieve your purpose. And last but not least, I think this is something that on the how that we need to do our purpose. I think I like these statements a lot. Spontaneity in structures. When we are called to do our responsibilities, a lot of times we might feel like what is being written there. A lot of times it might feel that it is painful, it is a burdening things and all. We started to see the boundaries and made us feel that it is very hard to do anything. But actually, inside these boundaries, there are a lot of freedom that we can do as well. For example, okay, this one continues with my examples of Sakra Youth. A lot of times when I felt that, when I started that 1 week, I mentioned that I keep on questioning about myself, whether I'm capable to be the Sakra Youth counselor or not, to be the representative. I keep on thinking about those previous leaders where they are very wise, they are very prayerful, and I started to compare myself, and I become like, I feel it's very hard for me to match them in that areas. So, but then I find myself as I goes, I realize that there is something, my values, my experience, whatever that I have, that I can give as a Sakra Youth counselor. And for me, that is my availability. For me, is that my personality as an extrovert that able to connect with people. For me, my in a sense, my skills of being able to give teaching, that I can help with other groups by giving teaching. So when I started to do what I can, and from whatever things that I have, my values, my personality, my experience, my skills, I started to find that my service in Sakra Youth become less burdening. It started to become something that I take as my personal mission. That is something that at this point of time only I can achieve this purpose with whatever things that I have. And I think a lot of times when we see our responsibilities, I hope that we can also find what are the things that are personal to yourself that you can give into this inside these responsibilities. And as you put yourself into that responsibilities, it becomes easier as it goes. Which I think one of you mentioned about.
I also mentioned the tripart, the cells.
Can you give me? Yeah, you take your time, but can you give me a time first? Can you sit down first? What was I trying to say just now?
No, say go.
Yeah, I forgot.
Cells. Okay, cells.
Yeah, so I think when we do our responsibilities, we are called to put ourselves into that responsibilities, and it gets easier as it goes. So last but not least, I will leave you with this Bible first. I think when Jesus said about taking up our cross, he's also mentioning that our responsibilities as children for our parents, or as part of members of family, part of communities, part of as an employees to the company. These are some of the responsibilities that we are called to take up as our cross in our life. And I hope that we are able to put ourselves into these responsibilities, not only doing it as what we should do or what we are expected to do, but to put our lives, our experience, our values inside of that, so that it can be transformed into a cross that eventually brings glory to God, like Jesus' cross. Now it's 20 minutes.
So can I?
Yes, you can. You may.
I will, because I said.
You write first.
Okay. Can you remove all those? I'm trying to.
You want to use this one?
Okay.